Welcome back everyone to another episode. We're on Pigeon Lake again, going musky fishing. Right now we're in a weird part of the year called the fall transition. What that is that's the time of year when you're in summer still, you know, early September, but you got cold nights, cold mornings, fall is coming, everybody's buying their pumpkin spice stuff. People are already thinking about Halloween, and if you're like myself, you're already thinking about fall fishing because we've had enough of summer, tired of the heat, and we're ready to rock some hoodies and catch some big fish. So, fall transition can be tough, especially when it comes to bass fishing. Bass really gets spread out. The bite can be stingy at times, but with muskies, at least in my experience, it's always been a pretty good time of year to catch them. They like the colder temps, gets them all fired up. I'm with my boy Griff behind the camera, and we're heading out to try to run into a few more toothy critters. Stick around, probably gonna throw some of the baits we always throw for them, but hey, we'll try to throw a few new tips in there for you guys. Fall transition muskies. Let's go catch some fish, boys.
Yeah, I have one with me. Yeah, it's a good one. Or maybe not a good one, but it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. No, he didn't get it. He didn't get it. He turned off. They're going fast.
He's with it again. Yeah.
Trigger on my
Oh, he just turned.
like gone.
I just saw him. So he might be gone, I don't know. Yes! Holy, dude, that's crazy.
That was a pretty cool situation, guys. I just stuck the trolling motor on constant. We just kept going, let him follow the bait 20 feet behind the boat. I don't know, that was like maybe 5 minutes of him following.
Probably about that.
Triggered him.
Oh my god.
We got a nice one in the bag.
All right.
All right, let's get the hooks out.
There we go.
Nice fish. That's on the Shum Shum Quickie Glide bait.
It's the first one I've caught on it too.
Yeah, eh? That was a pretty sick eat. That's actually a first for us, doing that. Ooh,
Check this out too.
nasty.
It's got some lymphosarcoma going on there.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so that's the Shum Shum Quickie Glide bait by Chaos Tackle. Black orange, or I think they call that color Halloween. It's a cool glide bait. It runs pretty shallow. It's a slow sink, so you can fish it over top of these weeds, which is pretty important on lakes like Pigeon.
If you give it some time, it goes down though still.
Yeah, I mean that, you know, we were running that bait just on kind of on that imaginary line where you can where you lose vision, you know, and that's where those fish are going to be hanging out, just below that, and that's where they're most likely to hit a bait when conditions are like this too, because it is flat and glassy out here. Nice, dude.
Thank you, sir. Nice net.
So, you know, that muskie that Griff just caught, as well as the one that we got followed off first thing, both outside weed edges. So you're gonna see us fish some outside weed edges now, especially when it's hot like this. Probably move shallower as the evening comes in. Ideally, they'll be up feeding more in the shallower water. But for now, we're gonna stick to the outside edges and throw in to the weed edge, throw out deeper, go from there. Yeah?
Yep. Drift is hooked up yet again.
Looks like another solid one, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't look small.
No, it's alright. Nothing wrong with that.
Whoa, 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 too fast! He's going right in the net. There we go. Woohoo! And easy.
Quick release.
Easy with the hook, yeah. Another one on the Shum Shum Quickie. Again, we're fishing an outside weed line.
There we go. Number 2 today. Not as big as the last guy, but
Nah, still solid.
still we'll take it. Yeah.
Solid. 2 for 2, and we still got more time. So something I get asked all the time is, how do I find new spots for muskie in the Kawarthas? And one thing that you can always rely on in the Kawarthas, there is different stuff you can fish, humps, points, holes. But one thing across the board that muskies live on in the Kawartha Lakes are weed lines, healthy weed lines. And a great way to find them, even if you don't have, obviously the more electronics you have, the better. But if you don't have the electronics, a great way to kind of look at them is look at a map. And you can access topographic maps multiple different ways nowadays for affordable prices. And, in the Kawartha Lakes, on average, anything over 15 feet of water is going to be your deeper water. And most of that weed growth is going to start in between 10 and 15 feet. And it's going to go obviously shallower right into the shallows where it's very weedy. So if you kind of look at those 15-foot contours and follow them along, and anywhere that you see like a tight contour where the 15, jets up and meets 7, or anywhere where there's a nice big area of, 10, 11 foot,
Muskie.
like a flat.
No walleye.
Oh yeah, and a big walleye follow right there. That's cool.
Huh.
That's a real easy way to find weed lines. Now, obviously, it's going to take time on the water. You got to put your time in to find these spots. But you can kind of look at areas on a map and kind of dictate prior to going out where those weeds are going to be, and that's where you can spend your time fishing. A lot of the times when you're out here, you can see it with your eyes too. Get a good pair of polarized glasses. Polarized glasses make a huge difference with musky fishing. I'm wearing polarized today for the two of us. But, if you're out here by yourself, it's always a good habit to wear some polarized. Another tip is, these muskies in the Kawartha Lakes, pigeon, sturgeon, stony, they're all eating the same kind of stuff. They're eating small walleyes, they're eating small bass, they're eating large perch, maybe the odd sunfish or rock bass. So areas that you find life in, areas that you catch bass in, areas that you catch walleye in, if they're healthy, if the weeds there are healthy, if you're catching bass and walleye there on different days when you go out and target those species, chances are that's a musky spot too. But without a doubt, the best way to find musky spots, time on the water. Got to put your time. Every time you get a follow, every time you catch a muskie or see a muskie, hit a waypoint on your mapping. You just got a new spot, Over time you might have 20, 30, 40 waypoints of spots where you've caught and seen muskies. Now you got a big milk run of spots to hit throughout a day. We didn't think it was going to be on fire today. Calm conditions, high sun. We got some cloud now, but when we first were out here, it was bluebird skies. Not the best conditions for muskie. A lot of boats around us are trolling, but the pull pause baits, you can stick with them. The tube, the glide, you can trigger fish. And with everybody's out here trolling big, big divers, big crankbaits. And we're getting a few fish in the boat. No, it's not.
What in the...
Big walleye.
Oh my goodness. Cool.
That's alright.
Hey!
This does happen occasionally. Every year we get a few of these. This one's a grown one.
Woo!
That is a great big walleye on the Shadzilla Junior prototype. I'm gonna have to measure this. It could be my personal best, so I gotta throw this on a measuring board quick. Definitely not for weight, but he's long. Yeah, he's long. And he's got a huge noggin on him. Look at the size of his head. All right, Shadzilla Junior prototype. Big old Kawartha eyeball. Let's get a quick measurement of this guy.
And a quarter. Is that your biggest?
That is my PB walleye, 28¼ inches. I've caught so many 27, 27.5s, but that's my new personal best. 28¼ Shadzilla Junior solid body prototype bait in that green gizzard shad pattern. You know, a walleye like that eats a lot of the same things that the muskies do. You run into big walleyes like that on a lot of musky spots, and that's the first big walleye for the prototype bait. So, first of many, I betcha. Okay, one more spot, and then we're gonna hit the road. Griff's gonna fly the drone. I'm gonna see if I can catch a muskie today, but pretty happy with today's results. So, let's go look for a little last spot magic here. Well, no last spot magic, but a successful day of musky fishing. I was fishing with my skicks like I've used in my other musky videos. Griff was using an 8-foot heavy Sojourn paired up with an old school Corrado 300, both running 80-pound Power Pro, both running 18-inch Husky Musky fluorocarbon leaders. 150-pound fluoro on the Husky Musky leaders. I get asked a lot how heavy the fluoro is on them. That's how heavy it is. Fun day of musky fishing. Broke a PB walleye, bonus fish. Fall's coming. Today felt like summer, but fall is coming. Thanks for watching this video, everybody. Bash that subscribe button. Hit like if you enjoyed it. Griff, congratulations on catching 2 muskies today.
Thank you.
Stick around, everybody. Got some cool stuff planned for the fall, so see you on the next one.